What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad, and it is official. Miramax has landed the television rights to the Halloween franchise, which has opened up a slew of conversation and speculation into what is next for Michael Myers and what is next for the Halloween franchise. We had all seen the reports, we had all heard the rumors of a pretty intense bidding war going on between A24, Blumhouse, some other different studios. Paramount was kind of rumored to be in the running for a while. And we knew via Bloody Disgusting that the rights to the Halloween franchise were being shopped around to different studios to try and see what would be next for the franchise and for the character of Michael Myers after the events of Universal and Blumhouse's Halloween Ends. But on Thursday, it was confirmed via Deadline that Miramax had officially won the bidding war and they had picked up the rights to the television side of things for the Halloween franchise, and that they are looking to make a Halloween TV series. Now, what that will look like, I think there's a few different options there, and we're going to talk about those right now. As Deadline reports, Miramax Television has signed a wide-ranging deal with Trancas to develop and co-produce a Halloween TV series, which also includes a first-look agreement on other television projects for the international marketplace. Bloody Disgusting goes on to say that the site's report continues, the new Halloween series is envisioned to potentially launch a cinematic universe spanning film and television. Miramax's head of global TV, Mark Helwig, will be overseeing the franchise creatively in close collaboration with Akkad. Now, this is the thing that really kind of captivated me and intrigued me is not only is the idea of putting Michael Myers on the small screen kind of new, we've never had anything like that before. It obviously raises questions in how is the story going to translate to the small screen, but also this idea of building a cinematic universe around Halloween, which I know so many people hear that word or those words and basically gag in their mouth a little bit because we think of DC, we think of Marvel, right? But I think there is potential for something cool to happen with Halloween as well. I just think, again, as with any project, it comes down to the execution. I think that likely the first option would be to make a series that is brand new and have it tie into films that are also brand new. Just an entirely new timeline in this franchise. You can really tell the story of Loomis. You can dive into his character. You can dive into the classic 78 Halloween story of what happened when Michael killed Judith, and then 15 years later when he broke out of Smith's Grove. You can kind of tell all of that in kind of an elongated setting, essentially just stretching out the Halloween 78 story. Or they could do multiple things. We could get the traditional John Carpenter anthology series, which is kind of what Halloween was supposed to be in general, where maybe you tackle Season of the Witch, maybe you tackle different Halloween stories interspersed in a series. I don't think they'll do that because I think the Michael Myers name is too important. People want to see the shape when the word Halloween is attached to a project. So I think the anthology ideas, I don't know if they're going to go for that. That seems a little far-fetched to me, but I do like the idea of Season of the Witch. I think Season of the Witch is a very, very viable property, and if you get the right director, the right creative team, the right writers in the room, I think it could be really, really interesting to see what they would do with a Season of the Witch project. Now, something else to keep in mind is that Miramax is co-owner of the film rights to the franchise, and I believe that means that they are a co-owner of what came before. Now, keep this in mind. People have been saying for years that they need to go back and do a sequel to Resurrection or do a sequel to H4 and bring back Danielle Harris. What if this Halloween series route is the way that they do that? Because if you think about it, nobody is going to go to a theater to see a sequel to Halloween 4. I'm sorry, but they're not. Nobody's going to go see a sequel to H2O or to Resurrection. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen at this point. I think we're too far removed. I think audiences are too far removed. They would be confused. They wouldn't understand the timeline or where things would fall, unlike us hardcore Halloween fans. But what if they used the series route to go back and continue and build upon some of the stories that we already know and love? What if they went back and did part of a season dedicated to what takes place after the events of Halloween 4, or what takes place after the events of H2O, because there are so many cool things you could do with that. You could bring back your Danielle Harrises, your Josh Hartnett's, legacy characters that never really got a second chance, if you will. And I think that could be a really, really interesting route. You could even, I know something that everybody would love is seeing them go back and recreate the H4 mask, or the H6 mask, or the Resurrection mask, or go back and do some of those things. I mean, I think there's a real viable option there. Again, I don't know if they'll do that, because I think odds are they're probably going to go with a new story. If it ties into film or not, either way, I think they're going to go with a new story, whether it is the adaptation of the original 1978 story or not, whether it's its own thing, who knows? I don't know where the jumping off point is going to be. Maybe the events of 78 have already happened, and this jumps off as its own sequel. I mean, I don't know. The possibilities are endless here. And I've said this from the very beginning. I didn't really care what studio got it or what creative team gets Halloween, as long as they are willing to put in the time and the effort to tell a good story and to treat the characters with love and respect. I think that is the major thing. And I think TV gives you two things, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. I think it gives you an opportunity to really build and elongate and build characters' relationships and build up characters and build so much in world building, doing the kind of thing that Marvel and DC do, but in a smaller scale, more emotional, more intense, more vibrant in terms of the themes and things like that. But I think there's also it's dodgy, it's risky too. I mean, I think there's definitely a risk here in taking the TV series route. But then again, I wholeheartedly trust Malik Akkad to do what he thinks is right for the Halloween franchise. And there was obviously something that intrigued him. And he's even said, the people at Trancas, Ryan Freeman, Malik Akkad, they've said that there are really, really cool things coming. So I think there's obviously some kind of pitch, there's some kind of idea that has pushed them to go the series route. And it's something that's been rumored and talked about. What would a Halloween TV series look like in the first place? I don't know. It's interesting, and I'll be very curious to see where it goes and kind of where they're going to take the story creatively, whether it's its own thing, whether they do the anthology route. Maybe they do two things. Maybe we get two different shows. Maybe we get the Michael Myers show, and maybe we get the Season of the Witch show. Maybe we get an anthology show on top of that. I don't know. The possibilities are literally endless here. And I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I encourage everyone else to keep an open mind as well. There are many different possibilities in how this could go. Could it be great? Absolutely. Could it be terrible? Absolutely. I don't know. But I think, the one that intrigues me the most, I think the most likely suspect is that they will go with an entirely new story. If it's like kind of a remake-ish adaptation of the OG story, cool. I think that's very likely. But I also think that there is a really, really cool idea and a viable option in using a series to go back and tell stories from other timelines and to kind of revisit moments throughout the franchise. The only issue with that is I don't know how long they're wanting this to go before we get back into film projects, but the only problem with going back and revisiting timelines, doing a sequel to H4, doing a sequel to H2, doing, whatever, is it could kind of get wonky in terms of how long can you do that? You know what I mean? How long? That's not sustainable for a long-term model for a TV series. So, but there are a lot of different options and different ways that this could go. And please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think they should do with a Halloween series. Do you think they should go back and revisit Season of the Witch? Should this be kind of a cinematic universe where we tie in different characters and we tell Loomis's story and Laurie's story and Michael's story, and we get the adaptation of the 1978 film, but it's kind of stretched out and told differently? I mean, there's so many different avenues that this could take, and I want to hear your thoughts. So please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are live discussing whether or not Halloween 2 from 1981 or Halloween 2018 was a better direct sequel to the original 1978 film. Halloween is coming. More of it is coming. More Michael Myers is coming, whether you want it or not. Just please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Leave this one a like. New episodes of our shows premiere every single week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at LTM Podcast KY. We love you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.